Welcome back to the NFL Weekly Series. This one is going to be strictly contract-based because we had some pretty big extensions go on this week, some holdouts end, and we're going to get straight into about 8 of them. I think 8 is a good answer, but we'll start off with the biggest one, which is Justin Herbert's 5-year, $262.5 million extension with the Chargers. We knew it would get done. We were kind of wondering when and how much. Ended up being $133 million guaranteed, which makes him the highest paid per year player in the history of the NFL. I think that could have been a lie, but that's why we're waiting for just Joe Burrow's pretty much his deal to get done, which will probably be more per year when he comes back from his injury. But we're not going injury based. No news this time. The only news this week is going to be based on the contracts and what have gone on so far. Justin Herbert so far last season had 25 touchdowns, 10 receptions, almost 5,000 yards, 4,700 yards, an adjusted completion percentage of 79%. Because I put that in there because he had 13 turnover-worthy plays as per PFF and 26 drops, and he played through injury last year, which is why I kind of want to preface that, because I think everyone kind of, especially me, I had a bet on him for being the NFL MVP last year, and I had him as my fantasy quarterback for most of the year until I ended up swapping over Marcus Mariota of all people. Yeah. I think he got a bad rap last year because of how bad that offense was, how bad Brandon Staley had that offense flowing. Hopefully, Keenan Moore's addition this year will help, because if you look at it through his first 3 seasons, he has over 14,000 yards passing, which is the most ever, I think, through your first 3 years. And you know how good Justin Herbert is. He's worth this money. He is going to be their franchise quarterback going forward, and he deserves money. Like I said, last season he got a bad rap because of how bad that team was. Now this year he comes in with Mike Williams again. He has Keenan Allen. I think Mike Williams was hurt last year. I can't really remember. Austin Eckler's back. Hopefully he plays. We don't know where that contract situation is going to go with what the running backs are doing. And you have Quentin Johnson out of TCU, their first round wide receiver. I think his first round went first round. Rookie this year, who has apparently been flashing very well in camp so far. So massive upgrades this year, hopefully. So we get to see Justin Herbert flourish as good as he actually is, especially in the tough AFC West. Next, I wrote down Aaron Rodgers taking his pay cut. We know how much Aaron Rodgers was set to make. It was historically, it was 102 years, $110 million they were taking on in New York. Now he's taking a $35 million pay cut. Ends up being a 2-year, $75 million contract, which gives them a baseline to go for the next 2 years with Aaron Rodgers while he's still in his prime. Not knowing what he's going to be, what the offense is going to look like, even though they brought in so many guys this year, I can't even keep up. They may be taking in Dalvin Cook now, who's having a visit there. So Aaron Rodgers taking a pay cut, not something you'd expect, but as well you kind of needed to with how much he was. His contract kind of pigeonholed what they could do for the next 2 years he was there. He was under contract, sorry. So that's a massive deal for the Jets fans. Next we have Saquon Barkley, who we talked about last week. Had his holdout, or holdout for like 2 minutes. He ends up signing a 1 year, definitely $100 million. 1 year, $11 million contract. He's worth up to $11 million contract. Basically, but doesn't stop them from franchise tagging him again next year. Saquon just wants to play football, I guess. He still wants to play for his organization, play for his teammates, which you have to respect. But again, like Josh Jacobs coming away from that big meeting they had, all the running backs had, Josh Jacobs still holding out. Saquon obviously wanted to sign straight away. Not sure how we feel about it, but look, Saquon Barkley gets back on the field. We all, as a neutral fan, obviously not a Giants fan whatsoever, it's just good to see Barkley on the field, whatever it means for the Giants in the future. He's probably going to be gone next year. I doubt he gets an extension next year with the way things are going. Especially with, we look what Jim Irsay came out saying about Jonathan Taylor, with him basically saying that he can do what he wants, he's not getting extended. That's kind of what owners are looking at now. Anyway, moving on to the next Giants move, which is another massive move. It's Andrew Thomas, left tackle, signs a 5-year, $117.5 million deal extension with the Giants. His jump has been so good because he came out of college as a first round pick, top 5 pick if I remember correctly, maybe top 10 at least, I can't remember. But in last season alone, only allowed 3 sacks, only 15 quarterback hurries and 21 pressures and only 2 penalties. When you look at how bad he was his rookie year, he had 10 sacks allowed and 57 pressures in his rookie year. He looked like people were calling him a bust straight out the gate, which is a bit ridiculous when it was his rookie year. Tackle is not a spot you can always just jump into and do. But he's come on leaps and bounds. Even his second year he was good. Now last year showed, I think, was he a Pro Bowler? I can't remember if he was a Pro Bowler last year. But he has that kind of talent, massive for Daniel Jones going forward, and the Giants having that kind of staple on offensive line. So that's a massive deal. Next with Trayvon Diggs, the cornerback from Dallas, a 5-year, $97 million deal. I remember there's actually a video on this page, if you go back when whatever year he was drafted, 2018 I think, no, 2020 I think, 2020 I think anyway. He was my favourite guy coming out of college, favourite cornerback to watch, I guess, not the best cornerback, but my favourite cornerback to watch. He's now already a 2-time Pro Bowler and an All-Pro, I think he's an All-Pro. Maybe not, I can't remember. But his rookie year was rough. Then the next year, he ended up being his first Pro Bowl was 2021, where he ended up with, this is a funny year because he allowed over 1,000 yards. He allowed over 57% reception rate against himself, allowed 5 touchdowns, but had 11 interceptions and 9 pass breakups and 11 penalties. He was quite literally boom or bust. He either got you an interception or allowed touchdown. It wasn't much in between. I think he allowed the most as a starter, it's definitely a Pro Bowl, the most yards against. And he's just that's kind of player he is. Came down a lot last year, only allowed less than 700 yards, 68%. Now the reception went up, 68% reception rate. Allowed 5 touchdowns, only 3 interceptions, about 10 pass breakups, 6 penalties. Kind of up and down again, but still the best corner on that defense. And it's trending the right way. He's allowing less yards. The receptions are kind of like he's just getting targeted. You're going to get targeted as number 1 corner. You probably have the number 1 wide receiver on you, maybe number 2, but like that you're going to live with that. So the fact the numbers came down is massive for him. Massive deal for Dallas to get locked up when they still don't know what Tony Pollard is doing. They don't know what Zeke is doing. Their defense is kind of in flux now while Micah Parsons is still there. But getting Trayvon Diggs, having Micah Parsons as well, who's up for extension maybe next year after maybe. The young guys are in there, and Dallas have a good stable going forward. Next, I have Cole Kmet, tight end from Chicago, 4 years, $50 million. He massive jump from his rookie year. His first 2 years in the league, only had 2 total touchdowns in those. He was just it's Chicago. It's been a bad offense, been a bad team in general. But last season he led Chicago in every category. He had 50 receptions, which is the most on the team. 544 yards, which is crazy. It was the most on the team, and 7 touchdowns, which is the most on the team. So that kind of with like DJ Moore obviously this year coming in for Justin Fields is going to be massive. He's going to take over all of those categories. But having a guy like Cole Kmet, who coming out of Notre Dame, I think it's Notre Dame. Just slow start when everyone thought he was going to be a surefire thing. It has come on a lot, has been kind of a safety blanket for them. Even if he does these kind of numbers next year with obviously Darnell Mooney, DJ Moore, and possibly whatever is happening with Chase Claypool, having more options for Justin Fields. It's just having a safety blanket at tight end is always massive. Look at Mark Andrews, look at Travis Kelce, look at even Gronk back in the day. No, he's not on their level, but it's just that safety blanket that the quarterback needs. A big body target to aim at, safe enough hands. That's what you're hoping for, and that's what he's been. So we'll see how that goes forward. Next, we got 2 defensive ends who got extended. You have Trey Hendrickson for the Bengals, signed a 1-year, $21 million deal. Has come on so much in his last 3 years. 39 sacks, 186 pressures, and over 100 quarterback hurries. Before the last 3 years, he hadn't got more than 6 sacks in a year. He's just come on massively. It kind of came out of nowhere. He's been in the league a long time. He's nearly his 30th season, but no one expected him to be this good, and he deserves the money for how much he's come on because they need that in Cincinnati. They don't have a guy like that anymore. With Geno Atkins kind of gone, and that's what it's massive for them. Basically, every defense needs a good pass rusher, and Trey Hendrickson has been that guy for them. Next, it only happened yesterday now, was Daniel Hunter from Minnesota, signed a 1-year, again, $20 million extension. Just going to keep him going. He's now 28 or 29 age season he's going into. 13 sacks, 76 total pressures last season, and 51 quarterback hurries coming off, I think an injury-plagued season the year before, I can't remember, but Daniel Hunter is massive guy for that defense after losing Zadarius Smith and who else is there? Everson Griffin, obviously that situation a couple of years ago. Daniel Hunter is a staple on that defense for an aging defense, really, if you think about it. So good deal for him to get done. Again, extension, prove it or not prove a deal. He's up at that age. That's probably the most money he's going to make now for the next 2 years. But good deal for Minnesota. They need a bit of stability on that team. That's kind of it. Like I said, this week there's a lot of news happening, but a lot more extensions. So we stuck with the extensions. Let me know how you feel about this. Did Justin Herbert deserve the money? Will Aaron Rodgers pay cut make much of a difference? Should Saquon have taken that deal? Is Trayvon Diggs worth the money? A lot of things are happening. There's still Dalvin Cook is being signed. He's visiting the Patriots, visiting the Jets. I think he might be visiting Miami as well. I'm not sure. That's going to be another signing up next week. So yeah, that's kind of a big deal for contracts and extension stuff. So we'll see what happens in the next week with Hall of Fame games starting now on Thursday. So we got preseason the week after. So finally we get some football played. Yeah, so I'm looking forward to it.